and just kind of to clean up some of our defensive attacks and our offensive execution. But today, just a focused prep day and just getting ready to battle again.
And Mario, why don't you open us up with the first question?
Sure. Hi, Coach. I'm in Brianna's hometown of Syracuse, New York here. With such a workload, that she has coming from, playing overseas to jumping into the WNBA season and the Olympics, how do you manage that workload in a season with her?
Yeah, obviously Stewie puts in a lot of work in the off season with her prep, and her maintenance in season is, A1 as well. I think it's a matter of balance. Games like yesterday where we're able to keep her below 30 or below, that helps us a lot. The other aspect about it is, she's put the work in, and she's mentally tough and focused in that. And if she's feeling great, then we can take advantage of that with the understanding to keep her body feeling good, her mind feeling fresh. And, Stewie is a competitor and she wants to win, and whatever we need from her, she will do. And if that involves a little bit extra work, a little bit extra maintenance, a little bit extra, she's doing it in preparation to be that for us.
Thank you. Congrats to a nice start.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Percy.
Awesome. Hey, Coach, you're like 10 games into a 32 season. I know you talk all the time about peaking at the right time, but was the things that we saw last night a glimpse of what this team looks like at its best when you got 6 players in double-figure scoring and you're getting meaningful contributions from what seems like every part of the roster?
Right. Absolutely. And obviously, we've talked through our rotations and, our lineups and just trying to find a sweet spot for us. When we get bench contribution, it helps tremendously. And if we can continue to kind of bottle that, with, obviously with our firepower, that helps in so many ways. It helps with your confidence. It helps with your feel, your vibe, and a lot of things. Everyone's contributing on the defensive end and offensive end. Everyone feels a part, and that's the goal. We have new pieces to our team, and just finding where everyone can be successful within their role, where their strengths are within what we do, within our system. It's a work in progress, but the baseline is good right now as far as just being able to pull out games, win games early, win tough games, and to have a game like that where you can blow it open, where you get bench contribution from players who are hitting shots, getting rebounds. I mean, it makes us a very tough team to guard.
Hey, and I don't plan to hold you to it, but maybe other people will. But it's this lineup and rotation, what will and the things that you want to go with sort of going forward?
Don't hold me to it. I'm not sure yet, but I saw some good things yesterday that I really liked. And obviously, we have, to me, it becomes game by game. I don't want to commit to something and then within a game, you see an adjustment or you see a rotation that works better than another. And I think that's what it is, just again, having new pieces and figuring out if someone is rolling and cooking, and maybe it's not the rotation that I initially planned, then you kind of have to send an audible, it's an audible at that point and kind of adjust to the game. So for right now, as far as our lineup, that will stay consistent, and is trying to get consistent rotations is the goal and is the key, but then it becomes game feel.
Hey, and then at this point, do you have a sense of what's going on with Candace Dupree? Again, we're 10 games in, but it feels as if she still hasn't settled into, I guess, a role that she's comfortable with or that fits her skill set.
Yeah, and again, another work in progress, but, Candace is a consummate professional, and, understand if you take a look at how we played yesterday, got her in the game with Sue a little bit more, and Stewie a little bit more. So just kind of trying to adjust and see where she can be great within her role and what she can provide, and getting her into the spots that she feels a little bit more comfortable with, and obviously adjusting to a new system, not only offensively, but defensively as well. We're flying around, we're trapping, and anyone who's new to our system, it takes a minute to adjust to that and figure out how to play within that. But yeah, I think again, another player where it's just a matter of time and finding consistency within her rotation, and then hopefully she can provide consistency within her gameplay with that adjustment.
And then, like it would seem like ideally that if she were to take some type of ownership or to lead that second unit when like she comes in, like that would kind of, seem to be ideal. Maybe, as you said, having her on the court with Sue and her being the first option, that it would seem in my sort of frog like brain that would be the ideal sense. Is that maybe off the point, or am I way too off the point there?
Oh, you're very much on point. And I think, as over her career, she gets buckets, and to take ownership within that unit is very essential to understand that we can play through her. She's the leader in that. She's the veteran in that, and she's the experienced one in that unit. And yeah, you're absolutely right. Just kind of taking, standing firm in that and taking ownership in the fact that, that group, that unit, whoever is in at that point, we're going to sustain the level of play or elevate the level of play. And I think, again, once adjusted to a role like that, and once having the consistent rotation with that, I think that becomes a part of it naturally to say, hey, look, I'm the one in this unit. Let's get it going.
There you go. All right, Coach. Thank you. It looks like an awesome day there.
It's beautiful. It is.
All right, thanks so much. We'll have Brianna here in just a minute.
Thank you.
And that looks like, and that looks and feels like what? Like, is it a night to night, not sure what you're going to get out there?
That's essentially what it has been up to this point, yes.
And then to just that, just with you, I mean, you've like done things a certain way, your career, it's led you to this. If you could maybe describe just that transition, to like when you've been a certain type of a player, getting certain type of minutes, certain types of shots, and now you kind of have to shift that. How does that feel like? How do you do that?
I'm still trying to figure that out. I mean, that was never that wasn't anticipated, I'll say that. Leading up to the season, with the conversations that I had with the front office. So I think at this point, it's something that we're all trying to figure out. I don't have like a solid answer because, like I said, I didn't anticipate coming here, being in the position that I'm currently in. So it's a little complex, but trying to figure it out. Yeah.
And then with that, I remember that when we talked the very first time that you said that you didn't want to be, to like have to shoulder that big burden, to whether winning and losing was all on you. But I would imagine that you also didn't anticipate this either.
Correct. And I'm not going to say, I mean, I think when we spoke the first time, like I have no problem shouldering the burden, all that kind of stuff. I just knew what I was getting into when I came to Seattle with regard to that. Like I know who the faces of this team are. I know who the offense runs through. And I was 100% okay with that. Like I've never been the type of player that's like, I need X amount of shots per game in order to be happy. Like, I've always been a pro and I do my job. I'm coachable. I've always been coachable. But yeah, this situation is definitely unique and not one that I would have, like I said, anticipated.
Yeah. Hey, from the outside in, and obviously I'm on the outside and you're on the inside, but from the outside in, it would seem to me in my frog-like brain that like if Candace would like take ownership of the second unit and just know that she's going to come in with that unit, get 8 to 10 shots with that unit, and like that's going to be your group. That's where you're going to, that to me would seem to maybe work best. Is that a stretch, or am I oversimplifying things, or just your take on that?
I think that's a question for Noel, honestly, because up until this point, there's times, yes, where I've been in with the second group. There's been discussions about being in with the first group, late and early in quarters. Like, so I don't know. I mean, I think that would be a great question to ask Noel.
There you go. And then just like my last thing here, you like sort of head back to what you played on a few teams now, but you're going back to your previous team on Sunday. Just maybe anything special from your time there. I mean, I know that you guys didn't maybe have the record that you wanted, but from it looks like you're still like they're one of the top 5 players in like Indiana Fever history, which is amazing. Just your sort of thoughts on heading back to Indiana.
Shoot, you just told me something I didn't know. I never would have guessed that, only having played there for 4 years. But
How about that?
I mean, I met a lot of great people there. Like you said, I mean, obviously the winning and losing, that didn't really go the way that it was planned. But I think the biggest thing that I learned there is just how to be a better leader, being that I played with so many younger players there, and how to coach them on the floor and all that kind of stuff. But great people, enjoyed my time, but it's time to move on.
Candace, I thank you for your time. I hear that the weather's fantastic in the ATL, so I hope you can enjoy some of it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yep.
All right, thanks, Percy. And then we'll go to Stewie here in just a few minutes. She just wrapped up her post-practice shooting, so it should just be a couple minutes here. All right, looks like you got Stewie with us. Stewie ready to join us with questions here. Mario, why don't you kick us off? Mario, News Channel 9 and Syracuse, go ahead.
Stewie, good to hear from you again. Any way you can flip the video on?
Yeah, give me a second.
Thanks, Stewie.
Actually, Mario, it looks like we're not going to be able to do video on this one, just audio only.
Okay. Just moving forward, I talked with your coach and talked about handling a workload for you. All the games that you played overseas, and now you're coming into a WNBA season with hopefully the Summer Olympics here in a couple of months. How do you manage that workload this year?
I think I manage the workload the same way for really anything. Doing whatever I can for the team, and obviously with the way the schedule is set up with the games, things are going to be super compact because of the Olympic break. But just doing what I can to take care of my body, and these are the things that I've practiced for, trained for all year. So it's nothing new. Just kind of being conscious of it and preparing and preventing a lot of things.
Are you happy with the first 10 games, or how do you break down your assessment of your first month or so of basketball here?
Yeah, super happy with the first 10 games. Obviously, we're 8-2. So looking at it in that way, with such a new team, new roster, it's really great. I think for me, just continuing to kind of be better each game, continue to gain consistency and be super efficient. That's what I want to be doing. But yeah, I mean, we're 8-2, so I'm super happy with everything.
Thanks, Stewie. Always good catching up with you.
Yeah, Percy, go ahead, Percy.
Awesome. Hey, I will keep this quick, Stewie. Hey, you guys are 0-2 in these are the back-to-back games. Just what are the challenges of these games and the things that you guys need to do to be better in particular in these types of games?
I mean, I think we can just be better with the way that we kind of come out how we start the game. Really dictates the majority of how the game goes. And yeah, I didn't know we were 0-2 in these back-to-back games since Noe pointed out this morning, but continuing to make sure that isn't a trend. We're on a long road stretch, and yesterday was a good start of what we wanted, but we want to continue that and keep that going, because obviously it's always tough to kind of beat people at home. But we had a solid practice today, solid game plan going into tomorrow, and another opportunity to be back on the court.
Hey, and obviously you're kind of sort of at the start of this road trip here, but do you personally prefer these types of trips where you play a team twice, can be in the city a little bit, as opposed to a 5-game road trip, which would be, 5 trips to 5 different teams?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I think it's different for us to play the same team twice in a row. So it's kind of, it reminds me of like EuroLeague a little bit, just how we kind of did that this year. But yeah, it's nice to kind of be in one place, be settled. Obviously, when we're on this East Coast swing, to kind of get acclimated instead of traveling all over the place. And I mean, Atlanta's nice, warm weather. It's a little humid here, but we'll take it.
Love humidity. Do not speak humidity. Hey, just my last thing. You've played with Jewell Loyd your entire career. Just what are the things that you're seeing from her this year?
She's continuing to kind of elevate her game every single year, continuing to hit big shots when we need them. And I think it's just the consistency that we're really seeing. And I know Sue said it the other day, but it's just carrying over from last season to this season. And this is just Jewell, this is Jewell Loyd, and this is how she plays. And really happy to be playing alongside her and see her having this success. I know that she worked really hard this offseason, and she wants to continue to elevate her game.
All right, Stewie. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, everybody. We appreciate your patience and joining us here today. I'll talk to you later.